Howdy folks, welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. Today we're going to be hetzing, well at least at first. And this is one of those machines that everybody keeps saying, Jingles do a replay of this, Jingles do a replay of this. And this is quite an old video that I had. And I figured now is as good a time as any to put it up. It is, of course, the mighty Hetzer, Tier 4 German tank destroyer. Circumflexes is with me in his M3 Lee. He was going through a phase where he was determined to get a Top Gun in that thing, and there's a couple of times he nearly did it, but I kept stealing his kills. Because, you know, I'm evil like that. So we're here in the Hetzer. It's a Tier 4 game. Not expecting much in the way of tactical subtlety from either team. And we're on Muir of Anchor. Actually, I should probably clarify that previous statement. It's a Tier 4 game, so I'm not expecting much in the way of tactical subtlety from either team. In Tier 10 games, you do expect tactical subtlety from either team. You're just disappointed, because you don't get it. At least down here at Tier 4, you don't expect it in the first place. So I've already got my first kill, stealing kills like a boss, and there's another one. So there's two. I'm using the 75mm L48 gun, not the 105mm howitzer. And you'll note I cannot actually see through any of these bushes. And there's a reason for that. I've got no reason to go right up to the bushes and look through them. Plenty of targets out there, or there was a second ago. Plenty of targets up there that my team was spotting for me, so there is absolutely no reason to move your little Hetzer so close up to the bushes that they will see you when you fire through them. So all these guys that I'm shooting at, I cannot actually see. But that's alright, because my team can see them. More importantly, when I fire, they can't see me. So those of you who might be new to the game, and are wondering how you're constantly getting killed over and over and over by invisible tanks, this is how. I'm more than 15 meters away from that bush in front of me, so I cannot see through it. But the position of that Marder and that Hetzer are being relayed to me by people who do have direct line of fire, or direct line of sight rather, to those two machines. So I can see them because my team are lighting them up for me. And as long as there is some concealment, like these bushes and trees, in direct line of fire between me and the guy I'm shooting at, and at least 15 meters in front of me, they won't see me when I fire my gun. If I was within 15 meters of the cover, firing the gun would reduce the camo value of the trees and bushes I was hiding behind, so that the guys I'm shooting at might then be able to see me. That's why you stay 15 meters behind cover to shoot at targets on the other side of cover. How do you know you're 15 meters behind cover? You can't see through it. Simple as that. If you're so close to a bush that you can see through it, you won't be seen until you open fire. And look at that. 4 kills, 541 damage. Jingles, you dirty, evil, kill-stealing bastard. And yeah, I am. But I couldn't let Zircon get his Top Gun. It's my job. I have to make him keep driving the Lee. He has to suffer. And now, there's only 2 of them left. One of them is in the cap circle. There's a bunch of us rushing to try to nail him. But this is one. We've got people in the cap circle. We're going to cap long before they do. It's just a question of can we get some more damage in before the game ends. And I'll tell you what, Su-76s have remarkable camo rating when they're not moving. Look, there's the cap circle. And there he is. We finally... Too late. Oh well, never mind. Maybe next time. Next up, KV-13. One of the Russian Tier 7 medium tanks. And it tends to get overlooked because of the weird position that it occupies in the Soviet tech tree. It's a tier 7 medium tank that only leads to other tier 7s, and it's seen as a bit of a dead end in the tech tree. But I think it's infinitely superior to the T-43, for example, which is the more common Russian tier 7 medium tank. It's very fast. It will do 50 kilometers per hour with ease. It's got the same 85mm gun, and the frontal hull armour on this thing is the equivalent of the IS, tier 7 heavy Russian tank. The turret, on the other hand, not so good. But probably the biggest drawback of the KV-13 is the appallingly bad gun depression. But if you can live with that, if you're used to driving Chinese tanks, for example, the KV-13 is a really, really good little tank. So, in this match, I'm playing with Circumplexers again. He was suffering from a momentary fit of madness and decided to drive his AT-15A. And we're joined by RamJB in the VK3002D. RamJB, another YouTuber who's more famous for his War Thunder videos, but has actually been playing World of Tanks for a long time as well. And this side of this map is not the sort of place where you normally see medium tanks going, but since the KV-13 has 100mm of frontal hull armour, it's not a terrible place to be. So we found a Tiger, but his backup is out of line of sight down that road. I'll take one shot at that Stug, and then a shot comes in from an attack that hasn't given his positions away while firing, slightly behind the Stug, but the rest of the guys are all around the corner and down the side of the street. So, move down, and you'll note that I'm never allowing more than one tank to be firing at me at the same time. I'm chasing down this Tiger, but I'm not going out so that the guys down the road behind him have got shots at me. And again, there's a Stug here. The Tiger can't see me. This guy's backup can't see me, which just allows me to take him apart at my leisure. Move up again, try to get some shots on this Tiger, and he's dead. Now we need to deal with all of the backup, so I'm going to do a bit of side scraping here. Plant one into the IS, dodge his shot. Looks like the IS was the guy that bounced off me just a moment ago. Unfortunately, Tiger P from the front, tricky. So I don't want the Tiger P and the IS to be able to shoot at me. So once again, there's a whole bunch of enemy tanks down there, but I'm making sure that, as far as I'm concerned, it's always a one-on-one fight. Trying to never put myself into a position where more than one enemy tank can bring its gun to bear on me. And this guy has decided that discretion is the better part of valour, and is trying to get away. I can't really blame him. But he just ran out of friends and options. And, well, we've won this. Now it's pretty much just a case of trying to find all the scumbags before they suicide. Oh, Jingles, you're so cynical. Well, there's one. Well, he's not trying to kill himself. Well, this is a turn up for the books. Oh, no, artillery kill denied. And then, oh, look at that. I mean, I say sorry to the guy, but in my haste to get an artillery kill, I hit that KV-1S just as he was shooting and cost him a kill. Still, it worked out alright for me, but I hate it when that happens to me. So I did apologise to the guy, which is not much consolation, I must admit. And I have to say, I'm very disappointed with these enemy artillery players. They're all camped right next to water, and none of them are trying to drown themselves. Don't they know how to play artillery? Ooh, big fat juicy humble. Look at the Stug. What's the Stug doing? Why is he driving away from the artillery? Oh well, never mind. More kills for me. Ah, the T-30. American Tier 9 tank destroyer. I have a sort of love-hate relationship with this thing. I do think it's a great machine. Right? I've had some fantastic games in this thing. But there's a touch of the BL10 about the gun. The BL10, of course, being the legendary gun on the Soviet Tier 8 and 9 tank destroyer. The gun on the T-30 is not as good as the BL10. And you get the BL10 at Tier 8, not Tier 9. But it is still a good gun. You know, it's difficult to argue with something that can do 750 average damage. But just like the BL10, the T-30's 155mm gun can sometimes be a little on the troll side. Sometimes you get those games where it doesn't matter how long you aim, the gun just will not land the shot where you intend it to go. And when it does hit, it bounces. And when it doesn't bounce, for a 750 average damage shell, you'll hit for 625. It's just that kind of gun. And yet, I have had such amazingly good games in the T-30 that I am prepared to forgive it its little eccentricities. Because no matter how hard it trolls you, there's always the promise that the next game you have is going to be really, really good. Judging by what's going on the map, this did not look like it was going to be one of those really, really good games. Far too many people went south. We had nobody covering the northern ridgeline other than an IS and a Lerva. We've just lost the IS, and there's an E75 just that we know of, just driving with complete impunity right across the open field in the north. The Lerva is too scared to stick his nose over the ridge and spot what's coming over, so I have to go back, because nobody else looks like they're prepared to do it. And oh, this is not good. And I'm convinced I'm just going back to die, because the Lerva's given up. And look at that. They've got a T-54, an IS-3, an AMX-12T. We know there's an E-75 over there as well. We've just lost a third of our team, and we haven't killed anything. I haven't even fired the gun yet. Now, I may not be the greatest player in World of Tanks, but I'm not bloody stupid. A lot of people would be tempted using the really good gun depression and frontal turret armour of the T-30 to go and park up on that ridge, but there are too many tanks from too many different angles. Our artillery has relocated, so there is no need for me to go up there and expose myself. Instead, I'm going to use the enemy team's gun depression against them. If they want to come over that ridge, be my guest. Not going to waste the shot on the E-75, not on the front of his turret. But I am spotting these guys, and now they know there's a T-30 up here. Oh, that ammo rack! Sucks to be you. Well, okay. So, that's not bad for my first shot fired. So, I am actually now in a very strong position. Anybody that wants to come over that ridge and take a shot at me is not only going to be shot at by all the guys in the position that I abandoned over on the farmhouse, because I'll be spotting them, but they're going to have to expose their lower glacis to a T-30 in order to get their gun down far enough to take a shot at me. And I don't think any of them are that brave. I mean, you know, after the example of what just happened to that poor IS-3, would you want to come over and show me your lower glacis? Well, sitting here as a deterrence is all well and good, but I am one of the top tier tanks. I need to take a more active role, so I take a bit of a risk and I think, okay, I'll move up and try to spot some of the tanks for the guys on the farmhouse behind me. And lo and behold, E75 takes the bait, seems to think there's only me and him on the battlefield, and the guys on the farmhouse just obliterate him. So that's a metric butt-ton of spotting damage for me. Now, after what happened to the E75 and the IS-3, I'm pretty confident not many people are going to try to push that ridgeline anymore, and yep, They're trying to work their way around, using the houses as cover, but it's as if they've forgotten I'm here, so we're just carving them up. Now, while I do remain confident that nobody intelligent would even consider trying to push that ridgeline anymore, I do keep checking behind me because, you know, never underestimate the power of human stupidity. And with the AT-15 neutralised in the town, I figure, well, maybe I should climb the hill again and just take a look-see. Because it is a good spotting location for anybody else who's trying, or, you know, who had previously committed themselves to coming down that riverbed. And yep, never rule out the stupid. Where the Tier 8 Heavy and the Tier 9 Heavy failed, maybe the Tier 7 Heavy will be able to succeed. The IS-2. Oh, and there's a Yag Tiger down there as well, who's more of a threat. But it looks like the IS-2 just came up behind all of his big heavy teammates and thought, yeah, we're gonna roll over here, no problem. Watched everybody die and then try to hide. Thinking, oh shit, now I'm stuck up here. Didn't work out too well for him. But there's a big juicy Yag Tiger down here. And I'm gonna get me some of that. Oh, hello! Oh, you're gonna let me reload? Okay. Oh, that was so my kill. Well, anyway. And the scores are even. And you know what? We haven't done badly. Considering we were 5 tanks down, we've killed 10 enemy tanks, while only losing another 5. But this game could still go either way. The enemy team have forced us all into one corner of the map. Right, now we know there's a 4502B down there somewhere. He's still a significant threat. Oh, there he is. He's mostly hull down, with just really the top of his turret showing over that ridgeline. And while this is a difficult shot, it went nowhere near where I aimed it. And this is where the T-30 tends to suffer, and where the gun will start to troll you. Now that's a better shot. It's the side of his turret. All it has to do is hit. So of course it misses completely. And this is where the whole love-hate thing comes in with the T-30. It is a good machine, but sometimes the gun just... oh, it winds me up. Admittedly, those 2 shots... you know, it's not really what the T-30's gun is for. With the T-30, the gun is not really accurate enough. Like the BL-10, what you'll like is just taking shots at big, fat, fully exposed targets and just hitting them anywhere. Shots like this at mostly hull down high tier heavy tanks, the gun just doesn't have the accuracy. Finally! It looks like Zircon hit him as well. There's no way I did over 1,000 damage. And it looks like the 4502 has had quite enough of that, thanks very much. He's trying to fall back, so it's time to chase him down. And then carry on and mop up. Oh, the 4502 driver thinks we're all camping noobs. Oh no. And he's right, because, you know, it's so frustrating when you're driving a heavy tank and the enemy team won't all come out and queue up in front of your gun one by one, isn't it? Don't they know how to play? Oh, and the T-69 that Zircon killed gives us a wave. Bless him. Oh, it looks like we've upset the enemy T-34-3 as well. You know you're doing well when the enemy team start raging at you. Okay, that's basically them saying, we suck. We suck and you owned us hard. And now, of course, all we have to do is find and kill their artillery. And since there are no cliffs for him to throw himself off, and no rivers for him to drown himself in, he's going to be parked up in A1. Oh, look, the T-34-3. Suck gold, noob. Yeah, because you need gold ammo to penetrate and kill a T-34-3, don't you? Oh, man. Sometimes I really love this game. So, a funny old game in the T-30. Originally, you can see where the AT-15 is sitting on the map. I mean, you know, there's no way an AT-15 is going to find and kill the enemy artillery. He's just too slow, so he's lit a campfire and he's toasting marshmallows and waiting for us to finish off the Lorraine. And that's the spot I would normally have gone to. And in fact, I did go to that spot at the beginning of the map, and it would have been absolutely, well, not necessarily the wrong place to go. Somebody had to come back and hold that ridgeline down, and the T-30, best machine to do it, because it's not really a long-range tank destroyer. It used to be the American Tier 10 heavy tank, and in certain circumstances it still works as a heavy tank, particularly because of the inaccuracy of the 155mm gun. We're trying to play it in the traditional tank destroyer role in situations where a machine like the Jagdtiger or the Tortoise would excel because of the accuracy of the gun. Sitting back and shooting at partially exposed long-range targets, the T-30 is just not good at doing that. It's just not accurate enough. And in those sort of circumstances, depending on the situation, getting this thing up close and personal is not a terrible idea. And we found the scumbag, and we've killed the scumbag, and that's a win. And there's the result of that one. Not bad at all. 56,000 credits. Without premium, that would have still been a 37,000 credit game. Interestingly, if you look at the team scores, top on XP, if not damage, was the AT-15, who was at the position that I initially occupied at the start of the game. And the AT-15 is definitely the kind of machine that works best in that kind of spot, with the accuracy of that 20-pounder gun. He didn't do the most damage, that was Circumflexes with 3,900 and me with 3,400, but 2,200 damage in an AT-15 in a Tier 9 game. He was in the right place at the right time. And moving back to that ridgeline was definitely the right place and the right time for the T-30. I would have been wasted up there on the farmhouse with the AT-15. And 3,400 of my own damage done. And because I was spotting those enemy heavies as they came over the ridge, 1,700 spotting damage as well. So, not bad. As always, folks, take care on that battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.